Yes, make it fast. I'm going to end the poll now. Question is, differential cryptanalysis requires dash chosen plaintext messages to break the DS. So it is a differential cryptanalysis, a non-generic cryptanalysis attack. Non-generic cryptanalysis attack or cryptanalytic. So there are different types of non-generic attacks like differential cryptanalysis, linear cryptanalysis, boomerang attack, slide channel attack. Like there are many types of non-generic attacks are there, which where attacker will have idea about the design of the algorithm. So based on the design of the algorithm, so attacker will try to choose a type of the algorithm, type of the attack like chosen plain text or chosen ciphertext, non-plain text and all. So in this differential cryptanalysis, analyst will try to give different messages, will try to obtain a pair of message, will take a pair of plain text and will take the perform the XOR operation and will try to get the obtain the plain text for the given obtain the ciphertext for the given plain text. They also will try to obtain the perform the XOR operation, will try to get the probability. So the probability of the XOR after performing the XOR operation, if the probability is above 0.5, then the subkey which is used for the encryption, the chosen plain text, will be used. So here this differential cryptanalysis will be used for the many types of the block cipher algorithms. So when it comes to DS is uses the 56-bit key. So it requires the chosen plain text messages of 2 power 47. Okay, it requires only 2 power 47. So cryptanalyst has to choose 2 power 47 plain text in order to break the DS, not 2 power 55 or not 2 power 64. So the answer is 2 power 47. Isn't it? So initially it was developed for this algorithm. Here is a block cipher like a DS algorithm and it was developed by. So we discussed this in the last class, right? So here it is a chosen plain text attack. It's a chosen plain text attack. So it requires 2 power 47 chosen plain text to make this attack. So here it requires 2 power 47. And where, so the procedure of DS is, it is going to take the message. So it divides the message into two halves like M0 and M1. Then on the right half, it applies the round function. So where it uses the subkey and the right half, and the left half will be performed XOR with the result of the round function. So generally in DES, it uses the left half is 32-bit. Here also it produces the 32-bit output. So that will be performed XOR operation and then it will be given here. So that is the procedure of the DES algorithm. So what it is going to do, how the cryptanalyst is trying to obtain break the DES is simply cryptanalyst will take the two messages like M and M dash. So this is the representation of the block. Among the 64 bits of plain text, only 32 bits will be given to the round function. So remaining 32 will not be given. So that is the formula. And what the analyst is going to do is cryptanalyst will choose two messages, M and M dash, and then performs the XOR difference. So this is the XOR difference. Okay, delta M is the XOR difference of the messages. So here for a given round, so if the round is ith round, then the XOR difference will be like this. So delta mi is nothing but XOR of mi and m dash I, two messages. And how this will be calculated? Delta mi plus 1 is nothing but the message in I plus 1 round. How that 32 bit will be calculated is, so it will be taken from the previous round. So previous round will remain unchanged. So it performs the XOR operation with the function, the round function. So the difference also, XOR difference also will be calculated like this. So XOR difference will be delta mi plus 1 is equals to mi plus 1. It will be XORed with m dash I plus 1. M dash I plus 1. So where mi plus 1 is nothing but, what is mi plus 1? So mi plus 1 is the XOR difference will be represented as delta mi plus 1. So is nothing but mi plus 1 and m dash I plus 1. So mi plus 1 is nothing but this. This is a formula for mi plus 1. So by substituting, we will get this. So mi minus 1 will be substituted with this. So like that. So XOR difference will be calculated. And here, so it is cryptanalyst is going to take the two messages. Cryptanalyst will take two messages, two message pairs, and then will calculate the XOR difference. So there it is going to calculate the difference, the probability ratio. So if the probability ratio is greater than 0.5, then the corresponding subkey will be used. The subkey which is used for the different messages where the probability is greater than 0.5 will be used for the in order to find out the plain text which is transmitted over the network between the sender and the receiver. So that is the idea of the differential cryptanalysis. So here, so first it is going to take the difference, perform the XOR operation with the two different messages, and then it is going to take the difference. So where the probability is more, the corresponding thing will be used. Okay. And whenever it is going to consider this differential, the XOR difference, so every block cipher will be of n rounds or r rounds. So if there are r number of rounds in the block cipher, then so round 1 to round r minus 1 will be considered as a one function. The all rounds except the last round will be considered as a one particular function, and cryptanalyst will try to get the key of the last round, that is rth round. So cryptanalyst will try to get the key of the last round, find out the key of the last round. Then the corresponding ciphertext plaintext will be generated using the rth round key. Okay, so this is the procedure of differential cryptanalysis, which is of a non-generic attack. So coming to the another type of, so this thing already we discussed, the step-by-step procedure of the differential cryptanalysis. How? So it is going to consider if it is r rounds, then r from first round to so r minus 1 rounds. So it takes the XOR difference. So XOR difference of plain text, alpha is the XOR difference of the plain text, and beta is the XOR difference of the ciphertext. And then it is going to take the probability ratios. So where it is getting the highest probability ratios. And then it will use a counter. So in order to use the corresponding subkey. So wherever the probability ratio is high, the corresponding subkey will be stored. It will be used for the last round. So the round, rth round will use the corresponding subkey. So cryptanalyst will have, suppose if differential cryptanalysis is applied to the DES algorithm, so cryptanalyst will have the 2 power 47 chosen plain text. isn't it? So it is a chosen plain text attack. So cryptanalyst list will have the 2 power 47 chosen plain text. So it performs the cryptanalyst list will take the corresponding the pairs, plain text pairs, and performs the XOR operation. So first, cryptanalyst list will take the two messages like M and M dash, and it will take the XOR difference will be represented as alpha. And cryptanalyst list will choose the plain text like X, so it performs the XOR operation with alpha. So it is cryptanalyst list will try to obtain the result where the probability ratio will be high. And also it will get the difference for the generated ciphertext. For a given pair of plain text, cryptanalyst list will get the generated ciphertext will take the that will be represented in the beta. So again there also the difference will be represented with the y star. So will be calculated like, so y star is equals to y XOR operation with the beta. So beta is the XOR difference of the generated ciphertext. Okay, so this is the procedure of the differential cryptanalysis. So coming to the another type of non-generic attack is the linear cryptanalysis. So this is a non-generic. This is a non-generic attack. So this linear cryptanalysis was presented or was introduced by this fellow, Mishiro Masui is a fellow who introduced this linear cryptanalysis technique. So it is also designed to break some block ciphers as well as the stream cipher. Some of the attacks will break the stream cipher techniques also. So this linear cryptanalysis, the main intention of linear cryptanalysis is designed to break the DS algorithm. Okay, mainly it is designed to break the DS algorithm. So this algorithm, the idea, how this linear cryptanalysis will be applied over DS is it uses it uses the known plain text attack. Linear cryptanalysis is the known plain text attack. So the attacker will, before going to apply this linear cryptanalysis, attacker will have the known plain text and the ciphertext pair. So the previous communication, so we'll observe the previous communication between the sender and receiver, or the known, the set of the plain text and ciphertext messages will be there. So that by applying the known plain text and known plain text, so cryptanalyst will break the DS. So how the cryptanalyst is try to break the algorithm is, cryptanalyst will use all the plain text, known plain text, as well as the ciphertext and also the key. So if it is a known plain text, means obviously the key will be known to the cryptanalyst, not the original message key. Instead, the previous messages, whatever the known plain texts are there, the known plain text and ciphertext, the pair. So in order to obtain the ciphertext from the plain text, whichever the key is used. So the cryptanalyst will have the idea about a set of plain text, ciphertext, and the corresponding key. So cryptanalyst will use all these three things: plain text, ciphertext, as well as the key. So here it requires, in order to break this algorithm, DS algorithm, it requires 2 power 47 known plain text, because the size of the DS is 56 bits. But it requires only 2 power 47 known plain text. Okay, for every message, it requires 2 power 47 known plain text. So these plain texts will be compared with the 2 power 47, not comparison. So here linear cryptanalysis is a known plain text attack which requires 2 power 47. And on the other side, differential cryptanalysis is the chosen plain text attack. Chosen plain text which requires 2 per 47 chosen plain text. Okay. So how the functionality of this linear cryptanalysis is, so we'll use the plain text, so performs the XOR operation with the ciphertext, so we'll generate the key. Okay, so in all the rounds, so if it is DS, it is going to take some ith round, so totally 16 rounds are there. So if it is going to apply, so not only in DS, it can be applied to the AS. So whatever the algorithm it is going to take, it will take the ith round. So it takes the plain text. It will consider all the plain text blocks. So P1 to Pn plain text blocks will be there. So the corresponding ciphertext blocks will be there. C1 to Cn, and key will be like m number of bit will be there. Subkeys will be generated. M number of subkeys will be generated. So it takes all the keys, plain text as well as the ciphertext. So already it is a minor improvement, known plain text rather than the true. So linear cryptanalysis. So we'll see the procedure. Mainly, the procedure focuses on the S boxes. So we know that S box will be used for substitution in DES as well as in AES algorithms. So in AES, it uses the 16 by 16 matrix or 8-bit input and 8-bit output, whereas in DES, it uses the 6-bit input and 4-bit output S box. And the size is, the size of S box in DES is 4 by 16, 4 rows and the 16 columns. So what it is going to do is, since it is a non-generic attack, linear cryptanalysis is a non-generic attack, attacker should have the idea. So should have the idea or the design, should know the design, what is the design, internal design of the each and every algorithm. So what it is trying to get, how it is going to break the algorithm is, so cryptanalyst will try to get how the S boxes was constructed. So S box, we are saying that the S box is a 4 by 16. In DES, it is a 4 by 16. So from 0th row to 3rd row, and from 0th row to 15th row, and the values will be placed randomly. All the values will be placed randomly. So cryptanalyst will try to get the information how the S boxes was constructed, means how the permutation substitution has happened, in this particular cell, what is the corresponding value, how this value is computed in the S boxes. So that if that is known to the cryptanalyst, can easily get the corresponding plain text of the ciphertext, the transmitted ciphertext. So here it uses different techniques or the different types of theorems. The cryptanalyst will use, the linear cryptanalysis will use the different theorems. So one among them, so here it uses a Boolean function. So it takes the n number of inputs and it produces only one output. So it takes n number of inputs of binary inputs and produces only one output. So among the n bits, it produces the one output, like either 0 or the 1. So it takes the Boolean function. And so it performs the XOR operations. It performs the XOR operations with the key plain text, ciphertext, all these things. So we'll see how it is going to represented. So mainly there is a formula which will be which is represented. Let me. The person who developed this algorithm has published one paper. So how they have represented, we'll see that. We'll directly go through the paper. Let me share this. Yes, so here this is a paper was published by the developer Misuru Masui is the fellow developed this linear cryptanalysis method. So, especially this is designed for DES, but it can be used for the other block ciphers like AES and triple ES and other PL, like all other algorithms. So mainly what they have specified is whatever the code, I mean, so here it is a known plain text attack. Linear cryptanalysis is a known plain text attack. So plain text will be known. So there will be a set of a plain text and a ciphertext pair, and then it will be given. So plain text and ciphertext pair will be given to the structure of this DES, and then it is going to perform the XOR operation with the plain text. See. So if you observe the principle of linear cryptanalysis, it uses the plain text block. So it uses n number of the plain text blocks. If you observe. So it uses the n number of plain text blocks. So plain text will be divided mainly into two halves, so left half and the right half. And this plain text will be performed XOR with the ciphertext. So if you observe the equation, this equation, principle of linear cryptanalysis. So what it is going to do is plain text in some round, ith round, or so plain text will be performed plain text bit. So I1, I2 is nothing but in ith round the bit, so the corresponding bit in particular plain text block, so will be XORed with the ciphertext. And it produces and it will be producing the key, so that the key will be the sub key. So it uses the sub key. So this is the main principle of this linear cryptanalysis. It uses different types of algorithms. So this was a paper which was published in the year 1994. So if you observe, so this is the year of publication is 1994, and so since it was developed in 1993, so they have given the name of the thing is in 1993, but the actual paper was published in 1994. Okay, so it can be used for the ciphers like AES and the FIAL mainly. So cryptanalyst will try to analyze how the SBox substitution bits were randomly specified in the SBox. So once the cryptanalyst will get the idea about how the values are, suppose if we take AES, it is a 16 by 16 SBox. How the values were placed randomly in each and every row, then we can easily get the plain text for a corresponding ciphertext. Okay. So if you want, I will share this paper. So the main idea of this linear cryptanalysis cipher attack is, it is going to take the plain text as well as the ciphertext, and it is going to perform the XOR operation with this. So in a particular round and a particular bit. Okay, so plain text will be divided into n number of blocks, so P1 to Pn, and ciphertext blocks also same number of blocks will be there, ciphertext blocks, and the K is the size of the key, depends on the algorithm. And so it defines one matrix with a binary matrix, so where the size is the K bits. So here also it performs the XOR operation. and it will take the probability. So by performing the XOR operation, it will take the probability. So the probability should not be equals to the 0.5. So probability lies between 0 and 1. So probability should not be 0.5. So that is the main agenda of the this linear cryptanalysis. So it will check the linear the differences between the plain text, the corresponding ciphertext, and the key. So this is the procedure of the linear cryptanalysis. All of you answer this poll question. This answer this poll question. Yes, there is only one question, but only 11 students responded out of 41 students. Why? I'm going to end the poll now. Out of 11, 5 students gave the answer generic and 6 non-generic. So linear cryptanalysis is a non-generic attack. It is not a generic attack like exhaustive search as or the brute force attack. It is a non-generic attack where the attacker will have the idea about the implementation details. So in module 2, so there is only one topic left, that is the stream cipher, block ciphers as well as the stream ciphers. So are you following the Coursera course or not? How many modules are there in first course and how many are there in second course? Why no response? Are you following or not? Coursera courses. Are you writing the assignments? If you find any difficulty in Coursera courses, you can discuss here. Is there any difficulty in the Coursera courses? Hello, unmute and talk. Number 3. Is it assignment is about MCQs or descriptive? So which type of assignment you are getting in Coursera courses? You'll be having 10 marks for Coursera, right? Okay, no one is responding. So we'll discuss the stream ciphers topic in the next class. If no doubts, you can leave. Thank you.